Hello world, it's Curtis Potter with Boundless Inspiration. I've spent a little bit more time at this hospital this month than I wanted to. Came here to visit a good friend that I laid to rest. We laid to rest yesterday. And then my grandpa is in here as well. And, life can be hard when your loved ones are going through some rough stuff, especially when there's somebody really close to you. I heard our pastor say this week that even an atheist will pray to God at one point in their life, whether it's when they're, one of their loved ones at the end of their life, or, when they're at their end of their life, like, please God, just, one more day with this person, or one more day, or I'm sorry, I want to go to heaven, I want to go to hell, At some point you find God, and, I just wanted, I didn't even really want to take you there, but I just wanted to talk to you about the moment I just had in this hospital. I go speak at the youth prisons here in Indiana, and one of the programs I speak with the kids is called Bridges to Life. And one of the criteria for them to be in that program is that they haven't had visitors in over 30 days. So a lot of times they get in trouble, they mess up, we're all messed up, we all make mistakes and so forth. And a lot of times kids are a product of their environment, so they mess up, it's what they were taught. They get angry, they mess up, they do something stupid, then they get put in there, and then their parents might be like, hey, just to teach you a lesson, we're not even gonna come see you, and then it's just a downward spiral, right? So knowing that I speak to these kids in a program where they don't have visitors, I came to the hospital the other day, and I see my friend, and it was just, it's tough, and I didn't really, I just kind of more in and out. And then, God put on my heart, like, there's people in this hospital that don't even have visitors, just like those kids you go speak to in the prison. Well, then I got a message on Friday that my grandpa was here in this same hospital. So I came up and I seen him, and, it was like, God was like, hey, Curtis, there's tons of people in this hospital that don't have visitors. So I went up to the desk, and, I said, hey, ladies, I do motivational speaking. I just want to help some people. Because, see, this was a big thing. I was at church today, and it was a message about Pastor Rodney, my great friend. And even yesterday, his funeral was packed. It was a mega church, the Blended Church in Indianapolis. Amazing church if you're looking for a great church. Huge building, and there wasn't a seat in the house, and, there was available. And I saw 100 plus 200 people that had come just for his visitation and left. So, like, if everybody would have been able to come, that I'm sure that changed his life, they would have been so packed, like, it would have been just crazy, right? And that tells a lot of who you are as a human, is about how many people that show up to your funeral. And that really just spoke volumes about Pastor Rodney, and just a great mentor of mine. And at the end of the service today, everybody was going up and talking to his kids, and I was blessed to be able to talk to his son, who's from California. I said, man, I just got to tell you the impact that your father had on my life. Because, see, he mentored me, and he never had to. Like, he dropped everything. If I messaged him, he messaged me back. When I said I needed to meet because I was struggling, he'd meet me at Starbucks, no matter 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever they opened. It didn't matter. And when I was trying to build my construction company, he gave me a chance to build a deck that I had never built before. I built a deck, but if you go on my Boundless Remodeling page, it's a beautiful, beautiful deck with just different composite woods and so forth, picture frames. I mean, it's a beautiful deck. And, he gave me a chance, and he impacted my life. Like, he changed the direction of my life. Like, that's generational change. I've had 14 people tell me that they didn't commit suicide because of the conversations I had. And I had to tell his son, like, that is hugely because of the impact that your father had on me. in the time that he put in me that he didn't even have to. And, not racial or anything, but, he's black as coal. And, you know, I was raised around some racist people in my life. So, you know, I had a little bit of a stereotype that I was a product of my environment and stuff that I had heard, you know, when I was growing up around the wrong people with just a toxic, disgusting mentality. And I knew that's, you know what, like, Rodney was one of the first people that I said, man, I love you, brother. Like, I called him a father. I called him a brother. I love you, man. And I told his son I told him all of this and the impact he had on my life. And I said, not only those 14 people's lives that told me that they didn't commit suicide because of meeting me or watching one of my videos, but the ripple effect of how many lives that could have affected, you know, their kids' lives, their parents' lives. Their parents could have blamed them if they committed suicide, their spouse, their kids, you know, it was generational change. I said, man, you saw how many people was in this funeral. Thousands of people. I said that's like thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You know, there could be a million lives, that the ripple effect that your dad left, this legacy. And the church service today was all about impact and the impact that he had on people's lives, because he made a decision to go see people, right? People that was like, why is this dude helping me? Why is he helping me and there for me? Like I was saying, I was like, why is this man there for me when, like, being honest, I still can't buy my dad's time. And I forgive my dad, and I love my dad, and he's always my dad, and I love him. But it was hard, you know, it was a hard thing, and that's why that man was so impactful for me, and he knew it. So I was in this hospital going to see my grandpa today, and I felt like God was saying, you know what, like, Curtis, you have an opportunity to leave a legacy on this world just like Rodney. And if you really are going to learn a lesson and adopt some of the things that Rodney taught you, then you've got to start taking those actions more. Like, what can you do? What more can you do, Curtis? You know, how many more people can you help? How many more people can you impact? Like, it's not about how many people I want in my funeral, but it's like, how many ripple effects can you leave on this earth? So I went to the front desk. It was up on the 3rd floor, and I said, Miss, is there anybody in this hospital that hasn't had any visitors that I can just, you know, just like them boys and Bridges to Lives, you know, is there anybody that I can just visit? And I'm a motivational speaker. I want to lift somebody's spirits. And she's like, man, you know what? That's amazing. And actually, we got somebody for you. And as I'm walking up, man, this random dude was like, hey, he's kind of like, his hands were tied to the bed. So obviously he was trying to rip out his catheter and stuff, and like, you know, dementia. And like, he's like, they haven't fed me in 2 days. And she's like, we just fed him literally like 13 minutes ago. And I was like, well, buddy, you know, I can't let you out. He's like, just let me out, just feed me. I was like, man, I might get kicked out of this hospital. I might get taken to jail if I do that, you know. But I was like, buddy, you know, these ladies, these nurses, these men, these doctors, they all care about you. They're doing this job because they care about you, man. And you know what? She didn't feed me. I said, man, if she didn't feed you, she would get fired and she would lose her job and not be able to take care of her kids. So, you know, she's like, yeah, she came up and she's like, I did feed you. Is like literally like just earlier, you know, we can, if you're hungry, we can give you more food, but we got it on the charts. We did feed you. And I said, man, they care about you. And I know it's hard in this situation when you're going through the storms, when your loved ones are in the hospital, or when you're in the hospital and it's just, things don't make sense. There's always a silver lining, even in the storms. There's rainbows, right? And sometimes it takes those storms. It takes you going to the bottom to understand what it feels like, that pain and that agony, and just to be able to know that, hey, it's only up from here. And you know what? Like, I talked to Rodney's daughter, and I was like, man, another one gone too soon. And she said, but the thing is, you know, if we argue that, then we're arguing with God's plan. And you know what? All the good ones, if you're a good human being, there's always going to people saying, gone too soon. My grandma died at like 97 or 94. I'm not exactly the sure age, but even her, you know, she was such an amazing woman, gone too soon, because you just want that good to be there longer, right? So I just encourage you that whatever you're doing in your life, Your words have power, and you have an opportunity to impact random people. So after I talked to that guy, she took me to another guy's room. She said, this guy's been here for almost a month and he's not had one visitor. I went in and I talked to this guy, and we had an amazing conversation. And at the end I said, man, can I pray for you? And he said, absolutely. Dude, he turns 80 on Thanksgiving Day. He's a Thanksgiving baby. I was like, man, we just had some amazing talks. He's like, Curtis, man, I'm so thankful. I gave him my phone number. I was like, dude, if you ever need to talk, don't put yourself on an island, just like the movie Castaway. You cannot put yourself on an island no matter what you're going through in your life. Putting yourself on an island is not being strong, which means, like, if you're trying to handle this alone, that's not being strong. That's actually being weak. And that's being egotistical, where you're saying, I can handle this alone. And that is not the best thing to do. The best thing that you can do is actually allow people to help you through this. And you know what? Like, sometimes it's hard. You know, there's times where I thought I could depend on people. And, you know, we're all humans. So it's hard to depend on a human, but God is the one you can depend on. And you know what? The people in the church, like, no matter if you are a non-believer or what, some church people, including Rodney, are the ones that was there for me and helped me and impacted my life and changed the direction of my life. So you know what? I was broke, busted, disgusted. I was toxic. They used to call me Taz. They'd call me a firecracker. I had my buddy one time say, he's a force to be reckoned with. You don't want to mess with that dude. I promise you don't want to mess with that dude. I used to love fighting for fun. People that was bigger than me. I was angry. I was hurt. I had self-worth issues, right? Until I started allowing people in to help me, to guide me, to remind me of my worth. They impacted my life, just like I maybe just did for James, this dude that hasn't had any visitors. He's got 5 kids, lost his wife, his son got shot, he had 6 kids. And yet for some reason they're not coming to visit him. And you know, like, I've went through things. They say Indiana's one of those states, and the United States is one of those countries where they just struggle to forgive. Like, they hold grudges and everything. And one of the people that I talked to in this hospital was like, man, I just would love to see my son, but my son is angry at me. And really, you know, like, it wasn't just all me. It takes 2 to tango, right? And I just wish my son would come and see me. And I just wish, you know, he's like, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to be out of here soon. I know it. God's got me. But, you know, I was talking to him about Rodney. He's like, man, I just hope that my son and I can rekindle our relationship before I die. Because, you know, I'm 80 and I'm in a hospital. My health's not the greatest. My wife, which is his mom's, health's not the greatest. He don't have a relationship with either one of us. We could die, and then he's going to be regretting it for the rest of his life. Today, I just invite you, find out how you can have an impact on somebody's life. As many people's lives. Even if it's your family's lives, your kids' lives, your friends' lives, your coworkers' lives. Like, how can you be the light in this dark time? You know, it's all lit up right here. It's light. But you turn around, you know, it's dark. It's dark right there, right? But even in that parking lot, there's those bright lights, you know, shining on my face, glimmering on my forehead, right? You can be the light if you make that choice. These people, I may never see these people ever again that I just went and spoke to, but my words that I was able to speak because I listened to God, he was speaking into my gut. Like, just talk to these people could have been the thing that just saved them from going, and you know what, like, getting out of here, like, you know what, I'm over it. I'm going to take this whole pill bottle and swallow it and just kill myself. Like, your words have power. They used to say sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But words have power. Words can make or break somebody, and that's something I had to learn because I was a product of my environment. I learned how to cut people down with my tongue, and now I have realized that I worked for the devil for way too long, and now I'm working for God and bringing life and bringing joy and being the change that I want to see into this world. And please don't take this as egotistical or anything. I'm saying this because if you're still listening to this video, then I know that you are still listening because you have something inside of your gut that's just telling you, like, maybe you're tired, maybe you're worn out, maybe you're tired of being angry, you're tired of being bitter, you're maybe you're like, I need to take some ownership and how have I controlled this situation? What have I created in this environment, and what can I do to become the best version of me, the leader of me, the giver in me, the person that's going to impact this world and leave a legacy? It's not about materialistic things or monetary money, but you know what? Money does make it easier for you to help people. If you're a helper, if you're a giver, even if you're a believer, like, that's what God wants. He wants to bless us so we can help more people and bring people closer to Him. Today, I just invite you, if your way ain't been working, try another way. Try another way. Get help, get coaching, get mentorship. Even the best athletes in the world, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, freaking everybody. They all had coaches. They all had mentors. All the most successful people on this planet had coaches, had mentors, read books of people that did it before them. If you're trying to do something, whatever it is you're trying to do in life, find the people that were successful at it. Because success, it leaves clues. Copy, paste, mimic it, adopt it. Whatever you're trying to do, you can do it. I believe in you. I know it. You wouldn't have a thought in your head if it wasn't something God was saying you can do. So anytime you're like, nope, I can't do it. There ain't no way, not me. We all put our pants on the same way every day, and you can do anything you want in life. I love you all. I hope this helped. If it did, put it in the comment section. Like, share, comment, tag. You know the drill. That way, anybody in your group that I don't know, maybe they can see this and that was something that they just needed to hear, because they have what's in them to impact the life, because they do, and so do you. You can impact this world. We all can impact this world, and we all can make this world a better place. Every single day, we're just getting a step closer to being balanced, baby. I love you all. Have an amazing day. It's a choice.